There's dick jokes coming up. Please relax. Folks, here's the deal. I editorialize for 45 minutes. The last 15, I pull my chute. We all pull our chutes and float down to Dick Joke Island together. We will rest our weary heads against the big, purple-veined trunks of dick jokes while bouncing in our spongy scrotum beanbag chairs and giggle away the night like good American comedy audiences are supposed to, goddammit, with pee-pee jokes.
You know what Russ said about pee-pee jokes?
Dad, I've heard it. It's called Archie Bunker, who was another fat, white, fear-mongering, conservative, stupid, white male, ego, talking.
I've heard it. Russ has nothing to offer me. See, Dad, there's this little weird thing that grows on a cow turd. It's really weird. Let's go listen to it talk.
Folks, it's time to evolve, man. That's why we're troubled, because you know why our institutions are failing us? The church, the state, everything's failing. It's because they're no longer relevant. They're not relevant anymore. We're supposed to keep evolving. You know, evolution didn't end with us growing opposable thumbs. Did you know that? There's another 90% of our brains that we have to illuminate. That brings me back to that little thing that grows on a cow turd. Come on, Dad, I want to trip. I tried to get my dad to trip with me, which is very dangerous. That could be very heavy duty for the man. He's 75, and I don't know if he'd get what I get out of it. You know what I mean? He might get into I'd hate to have my dad weeping next to me. I just love Rush. Dad, this is not the outcome we're supposed to get from this. It's supposed to be where your ego dissolves and you realize the true nature of our reality, which is mind, and that we literally all are one, and there's no such thing as death, and our bodies are an illusion, and God's eternal love is unconditional, and never have we left it other than the dream of the fall from grace, which is just an illusionary dream, and never has God been unloving to us, and we can wake up and remember God's eternal unconditional love. I just want to watch Rush. Oh, shit, Dad's not getting off on these like I am. I guess I have to do the only thing I can do. Acceptance and forgiveness. It's the only tools we got left. And evolution, if you're interested in it. I was down in Australia when the Waco debacle ended, the fiery inferno, which we all saw, and I was really bummed I was not here for it because I thought it was the most fascinating news story of the year, bar none. And everyone was so pissed off about that guy because he called himself Jesus. And I was saying, come on, the guy's real name is Vernon. Let him be Jesus for a couple of months. What's it to you? Who's going to follow a Messiah named Vernon anyway, you know? You got to call yourself Jesus. It's sort of part of the Messiah deal. And Vernon spoke, and he spaketh, and he saith, what? Let's go get some beer. Woo! Vernon just doesn't have the necessary spiritual weight that I'm looking for. But anyway, isn't that weird, too, how everyone snaps in our country and thinks they're Jesus? How come no one ever snaps and thinks they're Buddha? Particularly in America, where more people resemble Buddha than Jesus. I'm Buddha. You're Bubba. I'm Buddha now. All I got to do is change 2 letters on my belt. Bubba. Buddha. Vernon's a false prophet. Isn't that weird, though? And it's funny. It was real funny because these Australians had a big contingency in the compound that burned down, and they were, of course, curious. And I'm from Texas, and I actually went to the compound the 7th day of the siege because it was right outside of Austin, and I went to it. But these people in Australia were like, "Oh, Bill, isn't he? He's such an oddball. Isn't he so odd? He's such a strange character." And I'm thinking, well, let's think about this. Frustrated rock guitarist with a messianic complex armed to the teeth, trying to fuck everything in skirts. I don't know how to tell you all this, but it sounds like every one of my friends. I'm waiting for the Eric Johnson compound to come out, you know. I don't know. I don't think Eric's frustrated, but anyway. And they said, you know, they had to break down the compound because child abuse was stepping up. Well, if that's true, how come we don't see Bradley tanks knocking down Catholic churches? You know, I mean, if, in fact, child abuse is your concern. Actually, folks, I don't know if any of y'all have seen this. There's a tape kind of bootleg going around of showing film of the Bradley tanks not knocking, as the official story was, small holes to insert tear gas, but crashing the building off of its fucking foundation and fire shooting out of the tanks. The FBI and the ATF are liars and murderers, and Janet Reno and President Clinton either A, knowingly passed on a lie, or B, are so out of touch with their own fucking arms of their government that they're incompetent, and Clinton should be impeached immediately. Case fucking closed. And y'all have probably seen the footage, but it's sort of different than the official story, isn't it? Small holes, tear gas, giant holes, flamethrowers. They burn these people in their homes. Okay, that's our government. Okay. I've seen the tape, and it's fucking real, and whatever. Make your own conclusions. You haven't seen it, so it's, you know, whatever. But old Clint, you know, I have no illusions about these cocksuckers. I know there's 12 guys who run the fucking world, and they own every company, and, you know, it's fact. You can look it up. I'm not a conspiracy nut. This is all on paper. There really are 22 families who run and own 50% of the mainstream media, which is where we get our news. And it's true. It's a fact. You can look it up. I don't, you know, I can't be this big of an asshole without having the truth to back me up. Otherwise, I'd be a fucking nut doing this. But see, if you have the truth with you, you can do this. Gee, I'm starting to sound like Koresh, aren't I? Fuck. People have often said I remind them of Koresh. I'm like Koresh, only without the guns or pussy. So basically, I'm just an annoying fellow, but and frustrated rock guitarist too. But you know, I knew Clinton was in with the big boys when he bombed Iraq. Do you remember that? 2-day news story. Clinton launches 22 cruise missiles on Baghdad in retaliation for the alleged failed assassination attempt against George Bush. We launched 22 $3 million apiece cruise missiles to Baghdad, killing 6 innocent people. I think that was a little overdone. You know what we should have done? We should have embarrassed the Iraqis. We should have assassinated Bush and said, that's how you do it, towelhead. Don't fuck with us. And see, if Bush had been the one who had died, there would have been no loss of innocent life. Yeah, so you see, I mean, that would have saved us $100 million. And I love that, too, how the media called it, everyone in the government media called it a cowardly act on the Iraqians' part, because some Iraqi guy was going to drive a Toyota car bomb and blow himself up in the process of trying to kill the President of the United States, because that's all they can really do, since we are the imperialist rulers of the New World Order. And we called that a cowardly act. Meanwhile, we're launching cruise missiles 200 miles away from floating iron islands. Who are the cowards again? Okay. This is the material, by the way, that has kept me virtually anonymous in America. You know, no one fucking knows me. No one gives a fuck. Meanwhile, they're draining the Pacific and putting up bench seats for Carrot Top's next Showtime special. Carrot Top, for people who didn't get Gallagher, you know. That Gallagher was a little heady. I couldn't follow half of his stuff. Carrot Top's more my speed. You see, first of all, he's got red hair, and that just cracks me up on sight. I don't even need material. Ask my wife. I'm on the floor. Red-haired man on TV. Woo! Don't even need material or ideas. Red-haired man. So he's got that going for him. What do you like about him? He's got red hair. You know, Gallagher. Only America could